It's time for another Talking with Topher. This is episode 332. It is August 13th, 2026. And before I get into anything today, let me start off the way I always do by saying thank you. Thank you to all of my subscribers out there. You're the reason I keep coming back week after week. If you're new, remember to subscribe. If you want an opportunity to tell your story or be a guest on the podcast, TALKIN with Topher at gmail.com. That's the official email of the podcast. Send an audio, video, or type it out. Linktree link is in the description below the video. It gives you access to everything TWT. It's just that easy. And of course, don't forget about all the links that are discussed on this podcast today, because they are all clickable in the description below the video so that you can go and do your own research. With all the housekeeping out of the way, let's get into the episode. So this week has been pretty crazy for me. I had some really good realizations this week. Jiu-jitsu well, I'll tell you this much. It was a really hard week at work. Monday was just a torrential downpour. That was fun. And then, of course, the rest of the week, everything gets heavier. Because I don't know if anybody is in the construction business, but it's always heavy. Wednesday showed up. We had a real hard day Wednesday, and I ended up showing up to class late for the first time in 11 and a half years, everybody. It was something. I wasn't very happy about it, but, you know, I let school know I was going to be late because I still assist coaching with Professor Dan for the kids class every Wednesday. So if you got any kids in the class, I'm so excited to work with them. It really does help your jiu-jitsu a ton because you're working with the kids, and it's wild to me how much my brain has retained to be able to give that knowledge back to the kids. And anytime I can remember anything, it's a very good moment for me. But what I'm getting at is that I showed up super late. I felt really bad, but the kids had a great class, and it was really fun. And then the adult class, I will tell you this much, man. I struggled the entire class. I was just having a really hard time with a lot of the things that I was trying to do. And I don't know if this is because I didn't get to stretch or I showed up late and I was still stuck on being late, right? So I just had a tough time. And then, Thursday shows up, and all I'm thinking about is class. every Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, when you look forward to something every week, you're like, this is the thing I cannot wait for. So again, really tough day at work, man. I mean, we did not get out of there until after 4, and I got back to the shop, excuse me, at 5. I rushed back to the shop, and it's like 4:45 by the time we get back to the shop. And let's just put this in perspective. I'm supposed to leave my house by 5:15. It takes over a half an hour to get home. So we unload the truck, we get everything cleaned up, and what I realize is that I am leaving the parking lot at 5 o'clock. And I was like, oh boy. Get home. On my way home, obviously, I call the school. And because I was told to, I did not know to do that the first time. And I know I'm kind of digressing here a little bit, but I just got to class so late again, right? And this time I was in a different set of mind. My mind was set differently, and I got to class, and I didn't want to go. Everybody, I got home at 5:25, 5:30, and I didn't want to go. I did not want to go to class, and I was like, I'm not gonna go. I'm way too late to go. And something inside of me, I was like, wait a minute. Why am I not going to go? I just called the school. They said I could come. Why would I not go? And then I had to remember, who is the person that's not going to get their black belt? Who is the person that's not going to get their blue belt, their purple belt, or their brown belt? It's the person that doesn't show up, everybody. That's who doesn't get the belt. And it's not about the belts. You're right. It's not about the stripes. I understand all that. But at the end of the day, if you don't show up, you don't get anything, right? So I convinced myself, you've got to go. So I went, and they were in the middle of they were getting started on the second technique. Luckily, there was a group of 3. I got to break up, and I got to work some technique. And then, of course, we go into specific training, and then we go into full randori. And I will tell you, I have never felt so exhausted at in school. I've never felt it before. It was something. It was beautiful, everybody. It was beautiful. The reason it was beautiful is because my mind went into a place that I never realized was there before. And when you just get so tired and it's just match after match, your muscle memory just does almost all the work for you. And that was, even though most of my matches were quite tough, and they always get tougher as we go up in rank, right? But what happened is I just felt good. I felt really good. Not everything was working. I wasn't submitting people left and right, but I was feeling great about the simple fact that I was there, that I was doing the work, and that I didn't stay home. And that gave me the experience of this euphoria that I've just never experienced before. And it was just, I mean, to me, it was beautiful because I was, like I told you, I was not going to go. And when you show up, when you don't want to, that right there, man, it makes for one of the best experiences you can have. Anytime you don't want to do something, go and do that thing. Because I will tell you, it's one of the most rewarding feelings you can ever receive for yourself. And then you feel much better about yourself. But I will tell you that last 5-minute round, I clapped hands with this student, Adam. Great kid, by the way. Love him. And he tried to do something, and I stuffed it. I had enough energy to stuff it. And he was like, "Oh man, that usually works." And I go, "Well, I guess it depends on who you're trying it on." You know what I mean? I was like, "So, you know, maybe it doesn't work on everybody." And I just got to the point where I was like, "Okay, so this kid's trying some new stuff. So let him try new stuff." And this is one of the best things about being an upper rank is being able to test other people is so much fun. So all I did was just defend the entire time and let him try any attack he could. And I will tell you, that like he was a little frustrated towards the end because he couldn't get me in 5 minutes. But it also helps me realize that my defenses are pretty good. And I've worked on them for so long that I do make it quite difficult for a lot of people to finish what they've started when they're rolling with me. But you know, I just felt like he needed that, and I also needed that as well, because one, I was super tired, and two, sometimes you gotta let people work. And I've been doing this new thing for myself, where I try to get people to do something that is going to open up something for me. And I will tell you, it's not as easy as I want it to be. And the fact that it's difficult to bait somebody into something to open up something for myself, for an attack or a pass or a sweep, whatever it happens to be, I'm finding that to be a challenge right now. So I got to work on those challenges. We had some great matches, and man, just I feel so much better about myself because I showed up. So, um, I just want more people to understand that the the most difficult thing that we do is fight ourselves. The most well, we always get in our own way, right? And I didn't allow myself to get in my way that day, and it was so rewarding because I overcame that. And when you overcome that, it is amazing. It's a great feeling, and you can get that through anything that you do, because if you're in the middle of dealing with an addiction, don't give in, right? Don't give in, because you might have a really hard day at work, and that addiction may look so good to you at the end of that hard day at work, but it's not. It's not a good thing. So if you uh, think about it and then don't act on it, that will also give you that rewarding feeling that I'm talking about. Anytime we don't let ourselves down, it's absolutely 100% rewarding and worth all of the struggle that you go through to achieve it. It really is. It speaks for itself, everybody. So let's get into what I got lined up for all of you today, and let's have some fun. All right. And I don't know if anybody's noticed or if you're watching the video, but I don't know. I'm not wearing my glasses right now. I haven't worn them for a couple days. It's been difficult, but I've been doing this eye thing, and I've been trying to exercise my eyes. And I don't know if anybody watched or listened to the Joe Rogan podcast with Sinclair, Dr. David Sinclair. But eye exercises, eye recovery, there is a lot of stuff going on with eyes right now, everybody. It is pretty interesting because of the simple fact that we're restoring vision today. And we've talked about rebuilding knees and joints and elbows and cartilage, but we're bringing sight back to blind people. And I also thought it was a very interesting fact that the percentage of people that are blind, that are like in complete darkness, is a very low percentage. Most of the time, when you are legally blind, you can still see stuff. but it's super blurry and it's out of focus. And but you but they said that you can actually not see, but you can see enough where, like, you know what I mean, there's an object in your way, you know what I mean, but it's not like complete and absolute darkness like I always thought. So I thought that fact was pretty cool. I also found the fact that, one, I've never thought that GLP-1s were a good thing. I always thought that, one, it's an instant gratification, which, two, is distributed by Satan and the devil. So therefore, it has to be a bad thing. Plus, it's big pharma, and I don't trust them anymore, right? What the hell, man? It's causing blindness. It's actually causing blindness. And I'm not surprised. I wasn't surprised when I found out it was causing osteoporosis. I'm not going to be shocked if we find out that it has more side effects that are hurtful because of the simple fact that they're giving you something that's going to make it so that you lose weight and you don't have to do anything else. And I just don't believe in that. There's no quick fix to the American diet, everybody. There's no quick fix. But the simple fact that we're bringing eyesight back to blind people, and we're learning more about this GLP-1 is great. It's really, really good to understand the drugs that we're using. I just wish that they could do this stuff before the money grab, everybody. Why do so many people have to be sold a product with a lie attached to it, and then you're going to find out that you have osteoporosis or the chance of going blind? What has it been? Almost 2-3 years now since this product has hit the fucking market. And we now have solidified two major side effects of this GLP-1. We need to have something in place that doesn't allow these companies, these pharmaceutical drug companies, to distribute their drugs without finding out the actual complications that they can cause. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen, because you have investors that have an incentive to get the drug out so they can get their money back. So with people investing in drugs and needing to get their money back, these things come out way too fast, almost always. So going back to not wearing glasses at the moment, I got glasses with blue light blocking in them, which is not good for us during the day. Sunglasses block the blue light, the sunlight. That can cause your skin to burn more easy. Why? Because it tells your body that it's dark out. It tells your body that it doesn't need to protect itself from the sun. The blue light blocking during the day is telling my body it's time for bed. Well, it's not time for bed. It's time to work. So I take my glasses off now, and I will tell you, I have more energy in the morning. I have more energy throughout the day. Am I blocking an essential thing that I need to function? I believe the answer is yes. So now I only use the blue blocking light lenses and my glasses, like if I really have to read something during the day, then I'll put them on. But I take them right back off. I would rather go through eye exercises and deal with the sunlight and maybe a little blurriness over blocking something that's supposed to be telling my body that we're supposed to be up and running and moving. I just don't believe that we're supposed to be telling our bodies that we're going to bed when we're waking up. And if that's what's really happening, then that's a problem, everybody. That's a problem that needs to be corrected. And so blue light blocking is only supposed to be something that you're wearing during the evening. And if you are staring at screens like all day, every day, then maybe there's something else that we can use to help us with staring at a screen all day. But I don't think blocking the blue light all day is actually good for us. I think it might actually be bad. So I think I've gone. What is going on with my microphones today? I don't know. So I think I've gone on long enough here, and let's get into the video.
There is one sound that rage baits Satan, demons, and all of hell. Here it is. Check this out. Historically, church bells were believed to repel demons, clear the air of evil spirits. And this guy is Muslim. Is it making sense now? Did you know that in most Islam practices, it's forbidden to ring church bells? Kind of like what just happened. Kind of why he's upset. Because it wards off evil spirits and because Satan's greatest accomplishment is Islam.
There it is, everybody. Islam is Satan. And we need to bring the bells back, everybody. We need to bring the bells back. I'm telling you. It is, I don't know why it's lost. And unfortunately, there's churches around here that no longer ring the bells. But I will tell you this much right now. Whenever I'm somewhere and I hear the bells ring, it's so soothing. I miss it. What happened to it? Is this what's happening? Are they taking over? Are they getting rid of the bells because of their religion? What is happening to America, everybody? Where is our pastime going? And let's fight harder to stop this. Because if that is true, that these bells ward off Satan and evil spirits, and they're so soothing, which is one of the reasons why I really believe that they're getting rid of them for many reasons besides this one. But what if these Islamic Muslims are getting into office, they're setting their tones, they want everything to be, the thing over the microphones and let them know when they're praying and all this stuff. This is okay. But what if, on the other hand, they're getting rid of the bells? They're putting in laws to eliminate these things because of their religion, and we're losing our religion to theirs in America? That doesn't sound very inclusive to me. That sounds like you're excluding one for the other. And I saw this thing, and I know it was fake, but it was like, oh, if you guys don't stop saying Merry Christmas, we're going to move out of this country. And it was a bunch of Muslims and blah, blah, blah. And a bunch of women in their hijabs and stuff, and that's fine. But no, I won't stop saying Merry Christmas or Happy Easter or any of those things. I will never get rid of my dog. And you know what? I want to fight harder to bring back the bells. I don't know how to do it, but I believe we need to do it. We need to expel demons. We need to expel Satan. And I think we can do it by bringing back the bells, everybody. Let's bring them back. Let's check this out, man. Stay away from pork, man. I'm telling you, pork is terrible for us. Check this out.
I know where they're putting human body parts into the pig supply and the pork supply. The Reynolds family used to own 60% of all the crematoriums and moratoriums in the United States and funeral homes, and they would dispose of bodies that way too. Pig farms. Because a pig will dispose. A couple of pigs will dispose of a body in a few minutes, and then they feed that to the populace. Don't eat pig.
That you need to raise yourself.
Could not strongly warn people against that enough. Parasites of hookworms are serious things. That's why a lot of Southerners are what Southerners are. Understand something. Southerners, and a lot of their speech and their cadence and their rhythm, it's hookworms. 9 out of 10 times.
Really?
1 for 1, they are ruled by parasites. Detox them, their brains turn on, and they're sharp and capable communicators almost immediately. Tapeworms and hookworms come pouring out of them. But they were mostly fed pork diets. Whereas out west, you see a lot less of it. And in the north, because beef tended to be the predominant thing. Sheep before that, but beef tended to feed them a lot more often. And they're far less prone to feeding you the parasites. So something to consider. Change your life forever. Do a detox, man.
Well, I got like a whole.
So I believe in this. I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody. I've eaten pork. I've eaten it. I love bacon, right? Love a pork chop. But at the end of the day, if this is what's actually going on, and this is not the first video, this is not the last video I'm going to see on this, but this is something that is happening. And I just don't believe that these animals would have been put on a do not eat list by mistake. And if pigs actually do hold demons and spirits inside of them, and we're feeding who knows what to these pigs, I mean, what manufacturer, let me rephrase that. Why would a manufacturer of pork meat need to be also in bed with 60% of crematoriums? And I do believe that cemeteries are just fake as fuck. No one's getting buried the way that they say that they're getting buried. So what are they doing with everything? Well, would it really shock you if they put Bill into a coffin? Bill had his services, and then Bill's coffin got sold to Kathy. You know what I mean? Like, I believe that too. I believe there's a lot of shady shit behind these closed doors. And I truthfully do believe that you should never dine on swine. Never. I don't think pig is a good product. And if you eat a ton of it, so ivermectin is a dewormer, and I believe we all need to deworm ourselves. Ivermectin has been around forever. It's not going to hurt you. And I do believe with all the food, and if you eat a lot of pork products, you should, not regularly, but maybe once in a great while, even if you've never done it, this would probably be a good time to try it. But just go and get a dewormer like ivermectin and try it out. You might be surprised. I won't be, but you might be surprised of what could come out of us. And I will be surprised if anything comes out when I do it. But I'm going to try the ivermectin. Now, I want to try ibogaine because I've heard that it's helping with PTSD, it's helping with addictions, it's helping with all kinds of things that are linked in our brain, and it's breaking us free from those. And I want to break free from nicotine because I am so tired of it. I thought the pouches were great. They've destroyed my gums. Smoking was destroying my lungs, And vaping was just a mess. So at the end of the day, man, there's no good way to take in nicotine, and it's such a highly addictive drug that I think I need a little bit more assistance. So I want to look into the ibogaine thing for my addiction to nicotine, because I've heard such great things about PTSD and addictions to heroin and alcohol and cigarettes too are also in there. And people are breaking free from these addictions by going on this 48-hour, 72-hour trip. And they're never having to do it again. And they're not going back to their addictions. So I really do believe that there's something to be said about ibogaine treatments for addiction, but I also believe that there's something to be said about ivermectin, and all of us just taking a dewormer to see if there's anything there. And if there is, then you might want to look at your diet and see what you're putting inside of your body that could be causing that. Because they've given ivermectin such a bad name that I think people are afraid of dewormers now. And I think that was the point. The point was to make us afraid of something that actually could help us. And what I'm telling you is I don't think you have to be afraid. What you need to be afraid of is what has been put inside of our body. So go and look into this for yourself. Check out dewormers. But I'm telling you right now, ivermectin and doing a detox and getting this stuff out of our bodies is one other way to fight against their control. Because if these hookworms are inside of us or inside of you, then you just heard it. They're causing the decline in your brain function. So I don't want to decline my brain function any more than it is. So I think all of these things together are great tools to better ourselves and make better lives for ourselves. I really, really do. The Gates Foundation Fund, first ever creation of 16 synthetic viruses, everybody, using AI. Good old Bill Gates, friend of the show, everybody, Bill Gates, friend of the show, has gone ahead and used AI to make more viruses. I mean, let's just dig into the video. Let's go.
The Gates Foundation just funded the first ever creation of 16 synthetic viruses using AI. For the first time ever, mad scientists used AI to design entire viral genomes, physically manufacture them, and turn them into 16 new functional viruses capable of replicating. The work was published in Science, one of the world's most prominent scientific journals that is corrupted. And the senior author, Brian Lee, you'll see him up top there, who conceived, designed, and supervised the study, disclosed funding from the Gates Foundation. They generated hundreds of AI-designed viral genomes, manufactured the DNA, assembled them, and recovered 16 functional bacteriophages that successfully propagated and killed the bacterium they were inside of. They used EVO1 and EVO2 genomic language models that essentially function like ChatGPT for DNA, predicting nucleotides instead of words and writing complete genetic blueprints for these viruses. Now, these particular viruses, the bacteriophages, infect bacteria, not humans, but this is a dangerous precedent. The barrier separating digital AI output from an operational biological agent has now been crossed. This technology should be halted before it falls into the hands of bioterrorists or other criminal actors.
The problem with that is the simple fact that, like, it's already been done. It's all done, everybody. You can't turn the clock back. So now that this has been done, other people can do it. And probably one of the scariest things that's going on, everybody. That's crazy. What are we talking about? We're talking about the simple fact that we have used AI to make 16 new viruses. You can't turn that clock back, everybody. And why is the Bill Gates Foundation doing this? Right? Why does Bill Gates have that giant mosquito plant where they're just dumping mosquitoes all over the place? These bioengineered mosquitoes that have, well, supposedly viruses in them, right? But they're now going to have vaccines in them. Like, this all needs to stop, does it not? It is completely and absolutely crazy that these things are being funded in the first place. It really is crazy to me that we are funding these things. And I don't know what to do about that except for talk about it, because we have to acknowledge the simple fact that these people at the top of the corporate ladder, right, are manipulating and trying to look, I'll go out on a limb here, but I don't think they're trying to make us healthier. I really don't. This is scary shit, and it needs to be halted. He's absolutely correct. There's no good reason for this. There's nothing that they're going to be able to do to change what is actually supposed to happen, right? The only thing that they're doing is they're making it worse. They just make everything worse. Go ahead and take any example you want. If it's environmental, they bring in an animal and then it doesn't even do the job that it's supposed to do, right? They did it in Australia. Now they kill cats and put them in magazines because they have so many of them. You had this shit. I can't even remember. It was like some type of a frog. So they brought in a bird, and then the bird didn't get rid of the frogs. It ended up killing something else. And then there was another one where there were these snakes or something. And then they brought in this other animal, and the animal that they brought in stayed up during the day. And then the one that they brought it in for to kill was a night animal. So they never even saw each other. And then it ended up changing something to something else getting eradicated by the animal that they brought in that was alive, that was awake during the day. It ended up killing some like ground bird instead. So they eradicated their own state bird by trying to bring in an animal that was supposedly going to kill the problem, and it created another problem. So whatever they keep trying to do to fix the problem, they just make it worse. They always make it worse. And you want to know what's making everything even more worse today? These data centers, everybody. I hate these things.
This is one of the largest pump and dumps in history. Specific number of data centers are just scams. There's no data, there's no customers, and then they get money given to them from the government. So they get that government money, millions and millions of dollars. Take all the money that they can raise off of each one, pump it, and then dump it. They have been ciphering so much water and energy and then taxing the citizens that live near the data centers. We have to find a way to detect these pump and dumps. They're trying to secure and sequester land in our communities. The entire data center industry is aware of this situation and is being kept.
Yeah, I agree with that 1,000%, everybody. These are pump and dumps, man. This is a bunch of BS is what it is. These data centers are nothing but corrupt. Now, I did hear, I believe in Tennessee, or Kentucky, somewhere there, that the electric company is now suing the data center because the data center was trying to off-charge their electrical to consumers in the area. I have a big problem with this. I have a giant problem with this, everybody. It makes me furious. As if we haven't paid enough. As if we haven't had enough of our money stolen and distributed to everywhere around the world except for right here where we need it. Our tax dollars covers everybody around the world except for us. They just steal more and more. They're going to steal another 1.5 trillion to this fucking stupid war that we don't even want to be involved in, that we never wanted in the first place. And if you had just not done it, the Strait of Hormuz would be open. You morons. The war will be over when the Strait of Hormuz is open. It was open before you started. You caused the closing of the Strait of Hormuz. You caused the closing of the Strait of Gibraltar. You have caused all of this, President Trump. You have caused all of it. You did this by listening to Israel, by listening to their intelligence, and not listening to the people that were in front of you, because they're not yes men. So therefore they're wrong. Well, you're a fucking moron, dude. You're a moron. And because of that, we now know that our supply chain is completely drained. We know that if anybody wanted to at this moment in time, I think they would have an easy time attacking us. So that's great. And we know that there's nothing you can do without actually flying our troops over those targets and actually dropping bombs from a plane or dropping a nuclear bomb, which I don't believe in. So, you, sir, have put us in the position that we are in. So when people talk about data centers and how important they are for national security, well, you can only wonder why I don't believe you. I don't believe you because you made your own coin, you pumped and dumped it. Melania made her own coin, she pumped and dumped it. Your son is embedded in cryptocurrency, and it's all a scam, everybody. It's all a scam. It's all a money grab. And at the end of the day, what happens to us? Well, we lose water. We have to pay for more electricity that we're not even consuming. And we have to have these cameras installed everywhere. It sounds like a scam, everybody. It sounds like they're just getting closer and closer to the 15-minute cities, the full surveillance, and what comes after that? Well, if you decide to jaywalk, a camera will see, and they will deduct your overall score by 2 to 3 points. And you may not be able to buy your groceries at the store that day because you decided to not use the crosswalk. This is America. If I don't want to use the fucking crosswalk, I don't have to. We do not need any Axiom, Flock, any security cameras for your surveillance because it's not for our safety. It's for yours. You're watching us because you are afraid we're going to uprise and take what is ours back. And the only thing that's stopping us is ourselves, everybody. Again, going back to what I was talking about in the beginning, we get in our own way. And we're getting in our own way right now because we're not getting collectively angry enough to collaborate with each other and tell them, I'm not paying taxes anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. Because once we all band together and we realize that race was a divider and financial levels are a divider and red and blue is a divider, and everything that they've designed for us is to divide us, because when we're divided, we don't work together. When we don't work together, they win. So if we collectively get angry and we collectively stop doing what they want us to, just remember, there's more of us than there is them. So let's band together, everybody. Let's throw these differences aside, because it's not the aliens that we're going to fight that are going to save us. And the aliens are not going to bring us together. The aliens are another part of the divide. The only way we bring ourselves together is by ignoring everything that they're throwing at us. Because once we do that, if we could break through this chain, I don't think we'll be living in the same America anymore. We might actually be able to make an America that is good for the people again, and not these corporate oligarchs. And I'm sorry, capitalism has completely and absolutely destroyed America, everybody. It is very evident. And the fact that they can get away with all of this and not pay for a single fucking crime that they've committed in the last 3 to 4 years, and we know what we're talking about. These Epstein files are not going anywhere, everybody. But if you thought that was crazy, then I think it's time for you to go and get one of these. We all need to be putting on our tinfoil hats, everybody. Check this out.
Look at this. Looks just like a normal cap, right? But it's designed to protect your brain from 24/7 wireless radiation. The military got it first. Now normal civilians can wear it every day. Incognito. Honestly, just like any other hat, but it's hiding a crazy secret. 40% of the fabric is actually pure silver thread. It repels electromagnetic radiation. So when you put this on...
So that's pretty cool, man. I'm not going to play the whole thing. You get the gist. Like, if you think that this is tinfoil hat shit, well, somebody actually made a tinfoil hat that looks like a regular one. I thought that was really cool because something's going on with the 5G. Something's going on with this new 6G. I don't want to say that zombies are real. I don't. Excuse me. I don't. But there's too much weirdness going on today to not talk about it as if it is something that could or is happening. But what the hell is this? And this is why I said you need to put on a tinfoil hat right now, because we have to understand that, yes, this could be far-fetched. This could be out there. This could be crazy. But how crazy is it really when we know that our bodies have been injected with a vaccine that was supposedly safe, going to stop the curve, do all the things, and now that's all lies, right? We know about the gene therapy. We know that Fauci pleaded the fifth 111 times. Was that a code? I felt like that was something. It definitely wasn't nothing, right? But supposedly they're going to hold him in contempt. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. But it's not far-fetched to believe that these people are trying to manipulate everything to benefit them. So is it possible that the mRNA vaccinations could be putting something into our body? I forget the name of it. It's I saw there was a clip of it, and it looks like little worms inside your body. And when it gets near this 6G signal, it looks like a magnet. And these little I don't even know if they're nanobots or whatever they are, but they link together, and then they start creating a chain, and they start moving around, and this is supposedly in our bodies, everybody. This stuff has been taken out of people who have died when they were getting embalmed. They found this shit in their bodies. So could it be possible that these signals activate whatever this is that was inside of those vaccinations, and it has a way of completely and absolutely taking over your mind? I really don't believe that this couldn't be true, or this is so far-fetched. No way. I think there's something to it. But there's also something to all these zombie videos I keep seeing. And it's really, really disturbing, because if there is something inside of us that could be activated by these signals that they're all trying to distribute so quickly, they are literally planning a complete and absolute demise of all of us. And the thing is one of the other things I heard is that these cameras that they're putting up everywhere is so they can watch this from their underground bunkers. Isn't that fun? We're just a bunch of rats, and we're their experiment, everybody. We're just their experiment. They just want to do things and then see what happens. And that's how they're getting their data, by doing it in real time, everybody. Check this out. This is wild, man. It blows my mind. I don't know if it's real, but I'm telling you this right now. There's something going on.
Yup, it might be starting. People are found collapsing with no visible signs of breathing and coming back viciously biting everyone around them. And an entire town just went into lockdown. People were terrified after visitors at a Walmart in Tennessee were placed under quarantine lockdown after a man bit a woman, with the woman collapsing, eyes rolling back, appearing completely lifeless, and then rising back up and biting everyone around her. And people are saying this is already spreading. Haunting reports show the initial man who bit the woman was not acting human, growling and lunging, and after the woman went down, she came back barely able to walk, dragging her own body towards people with her eyes wide open, seemingly with no one behind them. But it gets much stranger. As the town was placed under National Guard watch, the mayor had to address the situation publicly, people had been ordered to stay inside, and now people are asking why a single biting incident required a military response unless someone already knew what this was. However, none of this has been confirmed, and people started looking closer and found the original video reports were tagged as fictional, but that has not stopped millions of people from sharing it as if it's actually happening right now.
So like I said, I don't know if this is real or any of this, but it supposedly wasn't reported. But what was reported? Okay, so right here, a 51-year-old man named Dean Hesketh, who police stated may have potentially contagious health condition, left the Royal Preston Hospital in the UK on July 28, 2026. Following an urgent public search and safety warning, law enforcement confirmed he was safely located and found by the police. But there was a video going around that was him with a mask on, and he slipped out of the hospital. And I didn't realize that he actually was acquired, I guess you could say, or put into custody. But it was an unknown virus. They didn't know what it was. And when he got out of the hospital, it was a national thing that was reported. And that is something. It's not nothing, everybody. There's definitely something there, but what could it be, right? Is it a virus? Is it some unknown virus that was made up? Or is it something inside of us already being activated by signals. I don't think any of these questions could be wrong. I just don't know which one is closer to the truth right now. I just know that all these questions I have, and there's no real way to answer them at this moment in time. But what I'm going to do is keep digging in, right? I mean, let's keep our eyes on anything else that could be happening around the country or the world, and see if there's areas where they're activating the 6G signals, and let's keep our eyes and ears open. And when you hear stories like this, I wouldn't just scroll by it. It's time to, dude, you gotta listen to this. I absolutely love Realism Official. This stuff is great. One of my new listens. Check this out. Time to Expose. Are you ready?
Okay, y'all, there is no way they believe this. What? How can people follow this? Whoever changes his religion, unalive him. We're talking about Islam. Oh, it gets worse. Do not leave. Look at this. This is how they tell you to treat your wives. No, not a joke. Look, this is in their book. Forsake them in bed and finally strike them if they don't listen to you. What? Therefore, when you meet the unbelievers, smite at their necks. Yeah, they're talking about Yeah. You seen what's going on in Nigeria, Pakistan, the persecution? Revelation says, I saw thrones on which were seated those who had been given authority to judge, and I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded because of their testimony about Jesus and because of the word of God. Jesus calls everything. This religion is directly from Satan. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, 100%, everybody. Look, if you don't know, that's fine. If you don't believe me, that is also fine. But all I'm saying is that you can find the Talmud. You can read it. You can decipher it. You can see what it says. Just like Hitler's speech being translated to English and finally understanding what he was actually saying instead of what I was being told he was saying, which were two different stories. Yeah, these people are evil. They actually believe that it's okay to lie, deceit, beat their wives. I mean, it's absolutely positively disgusting. And they're doing it to people that preach God's word, that preach about Jesus. And they don't like that because they hate Jesus. They hate God because they believe that it's them. And if any one religion puts it on the person, it's not a good religion, everybody. It's just not. It's not supposed to be in our hands. You know, like I said a week or so ago, I can't remember, but look, at the end of the day, you don't get to decide. You don't get to decide, everybody. I think I have a sticker, or my wife does, and it says, Jesus loves you, but I think you're a cunt. And I think that's a very true statement because I'm allowed to think that way about a person. I can go, you're a terrible person, I don't like you. But when that person passes, it's not me they have to answer to. If they go up or they get to do whatever they want to do and they actually have remorse and they actually, accept the fate and they accept Christ back into their life before they perish or within that 7 minutes after you die where your brain is still functioning, what's going on there? I think you're talking to the big man upstairs. You get 7 minutes to figure it out. Which is kind of cool if you think about that. You know, it's nice to know that you got like a couple more minutes to figure things out. But if that person that I think is a terrible person changes and repents, then God accepts. And you're back in, just like that. And I might get to see that person up there. And I have to accept that, because at that point, it's not up to me. It's up to God. And this stuff, this is all Satan. It's all evil, and it's all terrible for our country. Now, James Lee, one of the best. You want to learn who rules over us? Check this out, dude. This is disgusting.
You might want to hear this.
Under President Trump, the United States will stand with the Jewish people. We have implemented a vigorous new visa policy that will prevent foreign nationals from coming to the United States to foment hatred against our Jewish community. We are holding international organizations and nations accountable for rhetoric against Israel that resurfaces in the manifesto of monsters. So thank you for the opportunity to address you.
No visa for you if you criticize Israel, but nothing about the U.S., though.
This is the biggest problem I have right now. I mean, I am very happy that, was it Minnesota? Look, I might be like contradicting myself right now, but at the end of the day, man, these people that are getting voted in are stating, I'm not standing with Israel. I want Epstein elites prosecuted. We do not want this in our country anymore, right? We want this part of our country to be separated from Israel. We do not want to be partners with Israel anymore. I think almost all of us are Israel fatigued at this point, because it is so tiring how all of our politicians today keep saying it's about the Jewish community. It's not about the Jewish community, everybody. There's nothing wrong with the Jewish community. They are fine. They're all fine. It's about the Zionists and the people that want to overtake this country. They want to steal it from us. They are not going to share military intelligence and then not try to go further than that. That's just one of their many steps of infiltrating our country, everybody. That's what they're doing. They're infiltrating, they're trying to take over, and they're forcing their religion upon us. Well, let's fight back with our religions. Let's fight back with what's important to us. Because if these people are supposed to be doing everything in our best interests, well, they're not listening to us at all, man. They're not listening. And if they're not listening, then it's time to either be louder or it's time to get people in office that will listen and will do what's best for the American people. But hey, we're not going to let people in if they criticize Israel. Well, what about if they criticize America, dude? Right? James Lee is right. Not one word about America. It's like that other lady. Israel comes to me in my dreams. That lady's a kook. She's crazy. And the fact that she lost by such a little amount made me extremely happy. Now, I don't know if the people that got in are good. They're saying all the right things. And that's what got us here. We heard all the right things. So I think even though we are hearing the right things, and some of the people that are standing behind these Zionists, and they're not even preaching America at all they talk about is how important Israel is, I do believe getting them out is good. But I'm also worried about the people that are telling us what we want to hear are up to something probably even more sinister than what we're already dealing with. But then you find that little grasp of hope, and you're like, oh, maybe they'll actually do something for us. They're telling me everything I want to hear. I just don't know. I don't know if I believe them, but I definitely know I do not believe these people. And when you don't even say that this is for America and all you talk about is Israel, unfortunately, the change is coming, everybody. The change is coming. I hope it's the change that we need. I hope it's the change that we need. And it's not just more of the same. Because unfortunately, that's what I've always seen, is that they're telling us what we want to hear. And then as soon as everything gets voted in, they just do whatever they want, or I don't know, they get changed out. I don't know, dude. But we never actually get what we need, which is the rich to pay higher taxes, for us, the working people, to pay less taxes, for the data centers to cover their own electricity, for the data centers not to consume all of our fucking water. We just need what's right for the people. Affordable gas would be nice. Being able to go to the grocery store and maybe a dinner or two a week. That would be really great. But I don't know if any of this is going to happen. Hell, what was it? June lost 29,000 jobs. July, 23,000 jobs lost. That's over 50,000 jobs in the last 2 months. That came up short. That don't exist anymore, everybody. It's only going to keep getting worse from here. But that's what they want. So I hope everybody voting for the people that are telling us the things that we want to hear, I'm hoping you're right. Because I will tell you right now, I know we can't continue voting these people in. We have to vote all these people out. DMT, everybody, is doing great things. And I always knew it would. Something about the psychedelics, like people say that they allow evil spirits in. I don't believe that to be true. Alcohol, 100% lets all the evil spirits in. Lets them all in. If psilocybin, DMT, ibogaine, stuff like that, if that stuff is being manipulated by man, then yes, it's a possibility there's a little bit of demons or Satan attached to it. But when everything comes the way it's supposed to out of the ground, right? And a DMT, I mean, you can make it out of tree bark. I forget which one, but that's a natural thing that grows out of the ground. DMT is technically in everything, right? You can find traces of DMT in almost everything. But it's coming out of the ground. You get it from the plants. You get it from tree bark. Ibogaine, I believe, was 2 different plants grounded up and mixed together. That's where you get the combination that makes the ibogaine active. Again, it's a plant material. It comes from the planet, right? And if God made all of this for us, then I believe he made marijuana. I believe he made mushrooms. He made the DMT that's inside of us, right? And he put it everywhere. And I believe he wanted us to access these things, to find our spirituality, not to allow evil spirits in, but to find the spirit that's within us. And I feel that way every time I microdose. And I will have to say that anytime that you're in a bad place, right? You're having a bad day, you're having a bad time, things are not going good, cars are breaking, finances are stacking up, all the things that could be like really, really overwhelming and burdening to you. You don't want to mess with psychedelics. You don't. You want to deal with that shit first. Because if you were to take psychedelics in that state of mind, what's going to happen is it's going to be a really bad time, because psychedelics want you to look at all of that. They're going to bring it out. They're going to pull it to the front and go, look at this. And you're going to have a really hard time. You're going to have probably a really bad trip. That's the only time I ever had a bad trip. When you are clear-headed, and I'm not saying things are going great for me. I still have all of the things I just mentioned on top of that. But I'm at a better place of understanding, looking at it, and not burying it. So therefore, when I take psychedelics, all of that stuff has been dealt with. So if the psychedelics bring it back and tell me to look at it, I go, yeah, I looked at it. I know, I get it. It's there. It's troubling, but I'm going to figure it out. So when your brain is clear, in a good space, you can deal with the problems that you're already dealing with. That's when I believe the psychedelics will either help you expand on that, right? And maybe look into it further, and you can do that comfortably, but it also allows you to breathe. And it allows the psychedelics to do what they're supposed to do, which is allow you to see everything. I mean, it is a beautiful thing when you are just looking at nature on psychedelics. It's a beautiful, and notice how I don't mention acid, because man-made shit is always the problem I have. Once man makes shit, it's just manipulated, and I don't know if that is natural. So yes, acid is a psychedelic, but at the end of the day, I mean, they tried to weaponize it and do all kinds of terrible things, which is one of the reasons I believe that no matter what state of mind I was in, I always had a bad time on acid. Because I do believe it was letting demons in. I do believe it was letting darkness in. It wasn't giving me the enlightenment that I was looking for. And I just think there's something completely different with anything that is made from the earth. You know what I mean? So let's check this out.
A controversial compound just increased BDNF activity 4 times and NGF gene expression nearly tenfold. Not mice, human neural stem cells. If you're also deep into neuropeptides, stem cells, regenerative medicine, this is definitely a paper for you. The effect didn't disappear when the compound was removed. Those cells kept the growth advantage. And the compound? DMT. Researchers exposed these cells to DMT for just 24 hours. And at the most effective dose, those stem cells proliferated almost 25% faster. Here's the part that really caught my attention. Even after the researchers washed the DMT away, those cells later matured into normal immature neurons. As always, researchers can't retrace the effect back to a single receptor. DMT continues to work through multiple pathways around neuroplasticity, growth factor activity, and neural repair.
Isn't that something, dude? And now let me just expand on the DMT thing for another moment, but the DMT that's inside of us supposedly doesn't get released until we're dying. And you're going to tell me that God didn't put that there for a reason? He didn't put that there to make that experience a little bit more, I don't know, enjoyable, a little bit, giving you access to something as you're passing, to be able to access the next realm. I think that's real. I think that's real. Because if DMT is already inside of us and it doesn't release until we're dying, well, that's a design that benefits us, right? And God always loves us, I believe. But I mean, that's just crazy, right? So DMT is already inside of us. It's in all of plants, all of nature. That's powerful, everybody. And I do believe that was put there to give our dying experience a little enjoyment, right? Because I mean, watching my dad pass was interesting. It was he was looking at something, and I don't know what it was until, of course, he closed his eyes. But he wasn't looking at us, and I mean, ever since my dad's passing, my faith has grown tremendously. And so I talked about pork, we've talked about watermelon, we've talked about strawberries, I've talked about eggs. Dude, what is going on? We are in a wacky world where I don't believe anything I'm eating is real anymore, and they're attacking all of the healthy food now. And I saw this video on the eggs, and I will tell you right now, I've seen many videos on the eggs, and this is scary, dude, because I do believe they are now manipulating all of the healthy food. Because why? Because they're losing the people that are getting away from the pharmaceuticals. They're losing the people that are eating healthy, exercising every day, and they are clearing their mind and escaping their grasps. All of us are. As soon as I got off of alcohol and got away from my pharmaceuticals, it was amazing how clear-headed I was, how good I felt. I still feel pretty good. I'm tired physically from my work, but other than that, things are not bad. But now they're starting to attack us because we figured it out. I can't play any music, but the elites are stockpiling real chickens while you eat the 3D printed replicas. Look at that. Look like a little balloon. They're putting it into a vat. Look at this. This is just so gross. They're pulling it out. Look at these. They freeze them. Look at that. That right there bothers the crap out of me. Could this be that far from the truth, everybody? They told us they were going to make lab-grown meat. They came out with that stupid vegan burger, and they've done the GMOs and the manipulation to the fruits and the vegetables and destroyed the farmers markets, destroyed the farms, bought up all the land, and they hate the way things have been done for so long. They hate it. And they have an idea. And they want us to eat their idea. And they're just forcing it upon us. I mean, could all the healthy food be toxic at this point? I will tell you this much. I don't eat strawberries. I don't eat watermelon. I definitely don't eat a lot of the stuff that I've seen these videos on, but the one thing I'm still consuming is eggs. And how do we test the egg to see if it was lab grown? Right? They're going to hide these details from us. They're not going to tell us. They're going to send them to the store as the great value egg that I always pick up on the shelf. We're not going to be able to tell the difference. excuse me, there's got to be a way to tell a difference. And that's what we need to figure out. If we can figure out a way to tell the difference, then we have a way to test the products that are in our fridge and determine whether or not they have been manipulated. That's what we need today. So if there's anybody out there working on any type of thing that's going to be some new technology, can we at least figure out a way to test the food that they are trying to poison us with? Could we do that? Can we get those? Dude, this is great. This is great. I'm just playing this video right now because it is great.
Ooh, you need to watch this, because who let this man cook?
As long as I'm pastor in this church, don't you ever look down your nose at the way somebody comes in that back door. I don't care how greasy their hair is. I don't care what kind of clothes they got on. I don't care if they got liquor on their breath. I don't care if they got powder up their nose and pills in their pocket. I don't give a flip if they got shorts on. I don't care if they got tattoos from head to toe. You better start looking beyond all of that nonsense and remember, underneath every bit of that lies a soul that Jesus bled and died for, and he loves them just as much as he loves us. And somebody ought to be on their feet saying, thank God. Thank God for a church that loves sinners.
Goodness. You see that? Jesus sat with sinners. He'll sit with you. You're not too far gone. He wants to heal you. If you go to a church that rejects people, don't go to that church.
100%, man. Yes. If you go to a church that rejects people, you should probably stop going to that church. Nobody should be rejected. He's very right. I love how he's always like, let him cook. Let me cook. I love that. I want to start using it more. But it's just true. It's so true, man. You are not judge, jury, or executioner. You don't get to decide. And man, that really, really bothers a lot of people. They like being the one that decides. They like being the one to tell people what to do. They like being in the control. And they don't have it. They will never have it. They are trying to take it. But as long as our faith and our belief is there and it's strong, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you do to me. It doesn't matter how you hurt me. It doesn't matter. None of it matters, because I know and I believe that when I die, he makes the final choice. And I accept him. And I think once a lot more people do that, and you realize that we are our own spirits, we are guiding ourselves, God loves us all, he rejects no one, and Jesus died and bled for us all. So that we could be imperfect, so that we could be sinners. Because that's all part of being human. But are you going to be a sinner that keeps sinning? Or are you going to be a sinner that learns lessons from what you've done and be a better person? That's what this whole entire podcast has been. 7 years going on strong. Just be a better person, everybody. And once that happens, everything else is easy. I mean, there's still things that are going to be tough. Nothing's easy. But I will tell you, it's made it a little bit easier. Because now I'm not hanging on to everything. I understand where my higher power is, and I give it up to him. Because he loves me. And I think more people need to understand that he loves everybody. Like I said, Jesus loves you, but I still think you're a cunt. What is the difference between Luciferianism and Satanism? We're going to find out right now.
A Luciferian basically means that you become your own god. You don't worship Satan, it's you become your own god. So the Freemasons are essentially Luciferian. And there's Satanism, which is where you actually worship God, and there's different kinds of
Worship
that.
Satan.
Yeah,
Worship
you actually worship Satan. Now, the atheistic Satanism is basically the kind that they don't even believe in God. They don't even believe in Satan. They just do these rituals because they want to get they want to get the psychological empowerment from them, which is like, well, that might be. I mean, you might think that these things don't exist. That doesn't mean they don't exist.
Sounds like a Nietzschean Overman or something.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And then there's of course the theistic one, which they know that this how this stuff works. And there's also witchcraft that is theistic too, so they know that there's God and the higher levels of witchcraft actually know their level of knowledge of how this stuff works is almost on the same level as mine. I mean, they know that there's God and there's demons, and they're using demons in order to get this stuff done, and they're actually empowerment, and they know all the different spells and rituals. They actually know that they're inversions of Catholic rituals and that type. They know all of that. It's just that their family lineage has chosen this side.
Wow. So Luciferians think they are their own god. Satanism, their god is Satan. Interesting. Man, that is a dark place to be. What? Like, I still get confused about the amount of power people want. You know? We got the elites that want to rule the world. You got people who want to be their own god. Why? Why do you want that? Why do you want control over anybody or anything? You already have control over yourself. Just worry about yourself. Just worry about yourself, you know? But I mean, the Freemasons are definitely Masonic. And since the first Catholic churches were put up by Freemasons, I think they're Masonic. And I don't know if I have to transfer over to Christian being Catholic, or if I'm just allowed to pick Christianity up from being Catholic. But I will tell you this much. I never felt good in the Catholic Church. Never. And the couple times I've gone to a Christian church, I actually felt good. So you tell me what that is. You know, it's crazy too, because all these people, right? These Masonics, these Luciferians, Satanism, witches, they all get their final moment as well. So whether I agree or not, doesn't matter. But I just think it's interesting that people want to be their own god, or that they look up to Satan or some demons because they have a better chance of getting something that they want. So it's based off of wants. It's not based off of love. It's not based off of need. It's not based off of anything positive. It's all based off of greed and corruption. That sounds like capitalism to me. Now, I love when something old has told us about everything that's going on today. This is a 1983 cartoon, everybody. This blew my mind.
Don't you just love old cartoons from 1983 that tell you the exact truth?
Toward the end of the 20th century, things started to go wrong. Excessive industrialization, more and more production. And why all that? To give people a few superfluous goods, to consume products, use them up as fast as possible. Towering pride of government. A global view of world mattered less than keeping your clients happy. As in Roman times, the payoff with the inevitable result that raw materials needed for human development were used. And as for population growth, galloping, especially among the poorest, 8 billion human beings the year 2000, over 30 billion 1 century later. Can you picture it? An endless line of misery and hopelessness. Well, there were little local wars to settle things, a show of strength. The poor always the victory, ward off tensions and frustrations, for nothing's more reassuring when you're miserable than knowing that someone else is more miserable, preferably an enemy. But going all the way, total destruction, No, from time to time, they would toy with the idea of a bomb, a couple of megatons creating millions of victims. And in the end, they had weapons thousands of times more powerful. So, no, what really brought about the collapse was genetic engineering. It started innocently enough, by grafting genes resistant to malignant cells, of course, strictly for humanitarian purposes. It always starts like the spread of computers in the whole domain of data processing, which took on an alarming proportion.
Whoa.
Hello, 7312. Your output last week was below normal by 17%.
Yeah, but I couldn't keep up my work. I was sick last week.
Until your performance improves, all your goods and services will be reduced accordingly. Food, clothing, leisure activities, minus 17%. Only logical.
Oh, you name it, and it's 100 to 1 a computer was in charge of it until the people revolt. Old Mother Earth also had her problems with the people who wanted to control her weather, her climate. But the Earth is a small planet, and its ecological system is all one.
Whoa, bro. That was crazy. I didn't watch the whole entire video so I could watch it with all of you, but my God. Dude. So all the shit that's happening today in 1983, this thing was like, yeah, so they had wars, they did this, but they threatened with the bombs, but never did it because it was bioengineering that really brought humanity to its knees, introducing robots. Then we uprise against the robots, but then Mother Nature is also pissed off. So therefore, the weather gets worse and it melts the ice. And man, dude, doesn't that sound like everything that's going on today? Some people may have been trying to use the programming that was put in place to divide and keep us programmed, may have been trying to get the truth out there as well. I don't think all of them were puppets to the puppeteer. I do believe that some of them realized what the programming was doing and what they were utilizing it for, and they tried to make stuff for us to understand what was happening, and they were trying to distribute truth. Because I'm telling you right now, man, that's really scary. I got some goosebumps on that one. That's a little too close to home, you know what I mean? Science was discovered to disprove God. Let's find out what new scientific discoveries have found.
There's a bunch of new scientific discoveries, but isn't it funny that all of these discoveries were already called by God? Let me cook, you're gonna love this. Stay with me. The number of stars, NASA confirms they are beyond human number, but God said the host of heaven cannot be numbered. DNA, science discovered that DNA is a complex digital code. God said, I knew all the days in your book before you were even born. Ocean springs, man only recently discovered springs in the deep ocean floor. God already said it. Have you seen the springs of the sea? The expanding universe, scientists discovered the universe is constantly stretching out, but God stretches out the heavens like a curtain. Mountains in the sea, sonar shows massive mountain ranges deeper than Everest. God already said about the roots of the mountains in the deep. The weight of the air, science proves that air has a mass and atmospheric pressure. God gave wind to its weight. In the 19th century, scientists discovered that still water spread disease, but God already said for cleansing you must use running water. Here's one more. God also said that the world would hate him, which explains a lot of the comments you see down there. Just proving his point, to be honest. He called that too.
That is amazing, dude. God, it's in the Bible, everybody. This is what I'm saying, man. I'm going back 3 years right now to the simple fact that all the stories in the Bible are real. They're all true. That is our truth. That's where it is. He already called all this, man. He told us all about it. It's all right there. People are choosing not to listen. Science was made to disprove him. It was made by people who hate him, because these people are Luciferians or Satanists. They want to be the ultimate God. They want control over the people, and science is helping them do it. This is wild, dude. It's absolutely wild that all of that shit is in the Bible. Like, I love this stuff because, well, one, it reassures me that I'm moving in the right direction. And two, man, sounds better than anything anybody is trying to tell me today. It really, really does. It sounds so true. It sounds so true, so positive. It's all very positive stuff. And you can be negative, and like he said, read these comments. I'm sure people were in there just saying terrible things, but they're also the ones trying to get you to gobble up and swallow these scientific discoveries. They're not new discoveries, everybody. That's the lie. These are in the Bible. God already told us. We just chose not to listen. So I hope you're listening now. But I also do want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. You're the reason I keep coming back. And if you're new, subscribe. You want an opportunity to tell your story or be a guest? Use the email, send an audio, video, or type it out. Linktree link is in the description below the video, along with all links discussed on this podcast today. So go, click, and do your own research. And of course, as always, I do hope you enjoy your Thursday, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And I will talk to you next week.